Corbin Rowell. Almost forgot your last name.
It's okay. It's weird.
You and Cody, been friends for a while, or at least known each other.
Yeah.
How have you guys known each other?
So we went to high school and at Richmond Christian. I graduated in 2013. He graduated in 2014. And again, we weren't in the same class, which kind of sucks because like your class was always super, super close, and the class before us was always really, really close too. So it was the 2014, the 15 classes were super, super close to each other, and then our class we just really weren't.
It's like the political parties are now. They're just constantly...
Yeah.
It's a small school, right?
It's a small school. I was me and my wife were 2 of 23 in our class that graduated. And it was, we just, as a class in general, I mean, there was a few people I got along with. Like, you remember Ross? Like, I hung out with Ross and Jake and a few other people. But, like, as a whole grade, we didn't get along as well as your class did. So, I was kind of jealous of Robbie that he got to graduate with you guys because he got all the cool people.
We gave him that joke a lot,
Yeah.
especially our last year, probably because he did fail freshman year, but so we gave him help for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did say that often because we were just one big, comrade group. I think we had 16 when we graduated. One was kind of like half doing school, half doing college
There's
classes.
only 16 in your graduating class?
When we graduated, we had the same. We had about the same number by the time y'all graduated, like year before.
Yeah.
A couple people left, switched up, this and that. So it dropped. But then again, it made us closer. Even the ones that aren't as like tight knit with us, like now, we were still relatively close to one another. So
So Emory was a big step up for you.
it was, but it was still small because the college we went to was, I think, by the time we graduated, including the grad programs with PT school and what have you, it was like 1,100, 1,200, I think, and with online classes. But when we even
Is that for your class or is that for the whole school?
Whole school.
Oh wow!
Now,
I thought it was up in 2000.
It might be now, but it's been 2 years since you graduated, which is crazy to think about.
I mean, seeing you felt huge.
I saw your hat.
Yeah, and it was only like 4,000 or 5,000 kids. I mean, I can't imagine going to like what JMU or Tech has like 30,000 kids.
VCU has like 20-some thousand. I feel like
That's
too.
wild.
I mean, especially in that confined space too.
Yeah, but the thing that I like that they do better, and like UVA did this too, is that for a lot of those big colleges, they at least when they do their graduation, they at least separate it by degree.
Yeah, they separate.
They didn't do that at CNU.
No.
So we had like
Same
1,000
thing.
people and then just announcing every name, and I was just.
Luckily, our graduation class was like 200.
Yeah, it's 200.
Yeah,
300,
definitely makes
if
it
that.
easier.
Yeah,
it was.
It still took a while though.
Yeah.
That's
It takes
because
a
they had
while.
like 3 speakers and the gymnasium or like arena, whatever you want to
So it
call
was
it.
supposed to be outside, but then it was supposed to rain.
That's what we
But it
did
didn't
too.
rain.
It didn't rain, so it was humid, and all that body heat, a couple fans that were in there, and the circulation of air was piss poor to where everyone was sweating, and you saw everyone. Like I can imagine the speaker look. You just saw fans and pamphlets and hands just like this. I probably would make so many jokes if I was the speaker, just seeing they're seeing thousands of people.
Who did you guys have as your commencement speaker?
No,
She was an author, I believe.
Yeah, she was author,
An
very
author
big.
from Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
She does a lot of, I believe she does a lot of like volunteer stuff there now.
Yeah.
Like she runs a lot of programs.
Because back to the
area.
community, because Southwest Virginia is very...
That's the big push, like in our school, was giving back to the Southwest Virginia community.
Yeah.
Like building that area up.
What was your major again for both of you guys?
I was double majored in sociology with like a criminal justice hint to it and history.
Nice. Okay.
So
what about
Just
you?
business.
Just business. Okay. Sweet. Awesome.
Nice and broad. Had no idea what I wanted to do.
Right.
After you switched, 4 times?
Yeah, at least.
Oh really?
Yeah,
What'd you bounce around from?
So when I went into college, I wanted to go into an athletic training.
Yeah.
Pretty much just because my favorite class in high school was my sports science class. So I was like, it was like my senior year. It's like my last class I took. I was like, all right, I'll just follow that into college. Then I came into college. First semester, you don't really take any. I didn't really take any classes towards that. But like I quickly was like, I don't really know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I kind of had an idea of coaching high school soccer. So I was like, oh, I'll just follow the path of my high school soccer coach and teach. And I was like, I love history, so I'll major in history, get a teaching degree, and then come out and teach and coach. So I did a semester of teaching classes, but then I quickly realized I didn't want to do that because I think after the first year I would have been bored of it, more or less.
Oh yeah.
And I realized I can coach without teaching. So, then I went from teaching.
At one point, you were hinting at history too, I think.
Yeah,
right?
history teaching.
Oh,
So
okay.
Did you
combo.
actually change your major
Yeah,
4
yeah,
times?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And
like,
then I went
once a year.
from
Oh, yeah.
the worst thing about that was changing your advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the
yeah.
point. It got to the
Yeah.
point where at least one of the semesters, I don't believe I had an advisor. Like I think 2 people thought
He just got lost in
two,
this
I
gray
think 2
area.
people. Yeah, I think 2 advisors thought I had dropped out of their course.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really had an advisor. I never really got switched to somebody else.
Yeah.
But then I went from history teaching back to athletic training, I think.
For a hot second, and then you finally said, "Screw 'em, say business."
For a semester.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to business for my last
Year and a half-ish,
3
right?
semesters.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I had just built up a nice nice agenda or nice
Rap sheet, if you
Yeah,
will.
rap
of
sheet
all
of
the-
stuff,
of a bunch of different degrees. Or
Yeah.
a bunch of different
Our school is
classes.
already it's a small liberal arts college, so it's you're working for the free advertisement for
Right.
for it wanted to expand your educational exposure while you were there. So whereas I was a double major in sociology,
Yeah.
crime society as it was called, but like it's basically our criminal justice degree, and then history. Well, with that being said, in history I also took an archaeology class. And for the sociology, I took a couple of mass comm class, mass communications. I took a international relations that hit home for both. Of course, we did our languages and stuff. It almost felt like it was like an exploratory or an elective, if you will.
Yeah, you did a lot of that CNU as well. A lot of classes you probably didn't need to take, but
Yeah,
looking back, like when you're there, it's easy to like not like that. Like you're like I'm
thankful for it
wasting
now.
time. I'm wasting time in this.
no, dude,
I'm wasting time in
yeah.
this class when I could have be busting through and knocking out my business classes and all
Yeah.
that. But now looking back at it, some of the most memorable classes that I took were my out there classes.
Right.
Like my psychology
Dude, yes.
class.
Yeah.
Like, I remember so many things from my psychology class. I took a whole class about the science of religion that blew my mind. And that was my freshman year. And I still
yeah.
remember that class, whereas other classes that were business related have dropped off from my memory.
And it went for
Yeah.
me, like one of the mass comm classes kind of helped me get into editing, if you will.
Yeah.
And I've still definitely nowhere to the top of the food chain in editing, but it at least had me exposed to it. The different ideas and
Yeah, got you
mindsets and
interested in it.
perspectives. And I mean, we started the YouTube channel out of pure fun and just, hey, let's go out to soccer field, shoot around for a little bit. And they were piss poor videos. If you go back and watch them now, they're still up. They're fun for us because look where we've come. I mean, even those videos, it almost feel like archived. They can be put to the vault like in Disney.
Yeah.
My favorite one to go back and watch is our one from New York because it was our first trip that we took together.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was
March 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The fact that I remember. No, I'm sorry, it's March 2017.
Yes.
He's got a channel.
Yeah, it was the year. It was,
Oh my gosh,
It was our
yeah.
junior
2.5
year, right?
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, winter, March of junior year. That was our first trip that we took together, and we already had 4 or 5 soccer videos out,
Yeah.
and we were like, let's just record this video and make a traveling video of it. We had no idea that we were going to do anything else past this because this was both of our first time really traveling. And if you go back and watch the video, I think 90% of the video is just pictures. Right? It's like a PowerPoint slide.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
the
yeah.
camera,
And it was so
or,
cringy. We
it
loved
has
it
the
because
camera
yes.
moving across the picture.
Oh God.
And it was so
Yeah.
cringy because we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we had a lot of video, but half it was all the vertical nonsense, not horizontal. And if you
Yeah.
aren't good at editing that, or at least didn't have the software at that time, which I didn't know how to use Premiere Pro yet, and so on. So I had no idea how to make it look better. So if you go back and watch it, it
It's
makes
just
me
like
want to
the
vomit.
video and the black lines. Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
cringy.
I know.
And then
I
even
know.
when we went to,
But it's fun. It's for us. We build off that, and we're like, you know what? We were there once, and we're
Yeah.
a whole lot, more experience, better off now.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember,
it's
I remember the
crazy.
moment when we were watching those back when we got back, and I was like, let's take more videos on our next trip. Less pictures, more
Yeah.
videos.
I did an entire. So I, as you know, got married earlier this year in April.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Lost my wedding ring a month ago. I'm really pissed about it. I'm so mad.
way.
Yeah. Kristen's like, we'll get you another one. I'm like, no! This is gotta be that one! How'd
you lose it?
I don't know. I was making dinner and I was cutting chicken. I was like, I don't need this right now. And I put it in my pocket. I remember putting it back on, and then after I got out of the shower, I usually just put it back on. I was like, the hell's my ring?
Oh,
I just don't remember where it was.
Do you have like a dog or anything that could?
No, I have the cat. She may have pushed it under something. I just haven't found it yet. But I swear I flipped that apartment like twice and I haven't found it. But I know it's in there. I didn't throw it away. Yeah. So that's what's driving me nuts.
I like the determination. It's definitely in there.
Yeah, but we did an entire...
Did you check that jacket pocket again?
I'm gonna
that's
have to.
That's the most annoying thing because it has to be in there somewhere.
That's the thing. I checked the hamper that it was in because like I threw it in like a pair of like sweatpants or something that I was wearing, and I checked the pants. I dug around in the hamper. I know it's in that apartment. It's driving me nuts, and I don't want to buy another one because I'm so weird about like, oh, that was the one that like,
and then you buy another one, and then you find that first one. What do you do?
That's what I'm saying. I know that would happen to me.
Yeah. And then that second one, not only do you spend all that money, but it doesn't mean anything too, and it's just gonna be sitting there, and you're like,
I know it's just a ring. I get that, but I can just get a $20 one now. Just a
ring pop.
Just a ring pop. Right.
It's temporary.
But we did a whole when we did our honeymoon in Hawaii. I did an entire like Hawaii vlogs. Like I filmed a lot.
Did you ever post those?
I never posted it. No, I edited the first one. I just got busy like editing some short films and stuff. I never got around to it and. Kristen's like, yo, what's going on, man? I want to see our adventures. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll get to it.
I want to see those adventures. I'm with you, Kristen.
It's wild.
Come on, let's talk them into it.
Well, that's a fantastic segue. Yeah. So, I know absolutely nothing about like what you do. I just know Cody says you're in the film industry.
Yeah.
That can mean a million different things, though. What do you do?
So, in my spare time, I have been working on short films. I started... So kind of like how you were saying how you bounced around in college, like you had a bunch of different interests. I'm actually an organismal biology major. No, not orgasmic. Everyone always thinks I say that. They're like, orgasmic biology. I'm like, you're not the first person to make that joke. That's special. They're so cool when they say that. And I was like, no, I'm organismal, which is like kind of like the study of animals and stuff like that. So I thought when I first went to college, thought I wanted to be a doctor.
Sure, that's a hard degree.
It's okay. I mean, a lot of biology is just memorization. It's not as hard as chemistry or whatever. Chemistry is...
That's why I stuck with history.
Yeah, I was gonna say biology and history. It's kind of just memorization, right? But yeah, so I thought I wanted to be a doctor because I come from I don't know if I ever told you that. I come from like a real medical family. Like my dad's a radiologist.
Wow, I did
my
not
brother.
Know that. You might have 6 years ago. So
6 years ago. You remember that from 6 years ago? Come on, man. But my dad's a doctor. My mom was a nurse, and my brother is actually he's. At the end of his run in medical school, and he's flying all around the country, blowing all this money, going to different interviews to find out where his residency is going to be. So, and I'm the one in the family. I'm like, I want to make movies. So I'm like the one that's like completely different from the rest of my family. But
good for you.
Thought I wanted to do to be a doctor. I was like, nope. Then I thought I wanted to do something with biology, and I was like, I still like it, I still enjoy it, but I didn't realize probably until shortly after I graduated, which was like around 2017. I was like, I really don't want to do this. I was like. I've always been interested in film. I've made videos. Like some of the first videos I ever made were in middle school with Ross.
Really?
We made they're probably on my parents' computer somewhere.
We need to dig those up and expose them right now.
No, bad. We used to. Do you remember? You know his brother John?
Yes.
We used to make videos where he was like some like monster attacking us. We were like 11 years old. Like
I'm
not joking. Like they're really They're bad.
I need to see these now.
No, you don't. They're buried away. They're locked in a vault.
If you saw him and Ross back in the day just interacting with one another, it could have been a like Cartoon Network live action show. It was great.
It could have been a sitcom in itself.
Yes.
It was such a good.
Probably still is low key if you just get them together, warm up for 5 minutes, and
right. But so I realized in 2017 I was like, you know what, I kind of want to do film related stuff, and I have a buddy that it's. Coincidentally, he lives like across the street. He's in the same neighborhood as my parents, and his name is TJ Neveldine. So a little shout out to him. His brother is Mark Neveldine, who is an actual like established director out in Hollywood. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Crank movies or ever seen Gamer. He wrote and directed those.
Really?
Yes. So.
Can we have a podcast?
I know. I was like, oh shit, there's kind of a connection there. And I was, I'm not supposed to swear, sorry. And I realized, I was like, oh my god, there may be a connection there. I was really, really naive. This is like towards the end of 2017. I was like, oh my god, there's a connection there. I was like, I've always been interested in film. Maybe I can help out with something and do all this. And then TJ told me about some documentary that he and his brother were producing. It was a sports documentary about the Iron Man competition. He was like, "Oh, we could have you involved in that." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be great."
You're like the
be a filmmaker. Yeah, I was like on cloud nine. Like this is gonna be great. Then I had a reality check, and that's just not how that works. Just because you have connections or you know people who know people doesn't mean anything. So I started directing music videos for TJ's band called Never Seen out throughout 2018, and I released a couple videos for them this year too. And then beginning of 2019, I was like, I kind of just don't want to just keep doing music videos. I kind of want to tell a story.
Expand, yeah.
Yeah, I've always made videos as a kid. I've always had that in my head, like, oh, I want to tell stories. I want to entertain people, because I was a goofball in high school. I mean, I was an idiot.
Yes,
I just liked entertaining people, and I was like, I kind of want to.
But you were good at it. Like, you didn't. I know plenty of the people out there that I went to school with, college with, or just worked with knew that tried way too hard to do it, and they were funny 50% of the time. You did it, not trying, just being yourself. You're natural, and it was funny every time. Like, there was never a time that I can sincerely say that Corbin Rowell ticked me off because he was being loud. No, it was always funny.
You probably didn't know me that well, though. I pissed some people off. So, fun fact, Robbie, who we talked about earlier.
Well, that's Robbie. He
used to hate me because I was a dick to him in like middle school. Like, I was like an actual bully. And then when I left for a year for high school and came back senior year, I had a private message with him on Facebook, and he was like, I actually dread the fact that you're coming back. He's like, I'm dreading. He's like, I've talked to people and they're like, oh, we're excited, Corbin and Chris are coming back. He was like, I'm dreading you coming back because you were always mean to me.
Did he reach out to you and say that? Or?
Yeah, I forget how the conversation started. This was so long ago. This was like probably 8 years ago. And I just straight up apologized. You're laughing. You're like, Robbie's sensitive. I straight up apologized. I was like,
That's because right now he's probably watching this, and he's in the Navy now in Bahrain. This guy can like kick her teeth in with one.
It's so funny because he was bullied in high school. He could probably kill me just by looking at me.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, and I apologized to him, and he became my closest friend senior year. So
he's a good dude.
He's a great guy.
I mean, but then again, you mature, you learn, you adapt, and your personalities through adolescence did match up. And
just simply someone being honest and telling you how you affected them really stays with you. I mean, you remember that, but not how the conversation started.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But
good times though.
Yeah. So, God, what happened? What were we even talking about?
What you do.
Your work.
Yeah.
Right. So right now I've been.
You're tired of doing music videos.
Right. I was tired of doing music videos. Started doing short films, and that's kind of what I've been working on in 2019. Is just trying to learn a bit more. Because again, I had these. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do what your friend Chris did, what Chris Foster did. I'm gonna move out to LA and do all this stuff, and I'm just like, I know nothing about like any of this. Like, I am like completely clueless. And I don't think he went to film school either, right?
He did not. So a little background on he was supposed to go to whatever the one was in Syracuse or Florida. I know there's the two. They actually tried contacting my brother as well. Forgetting the name, I think it starts with the S. But long story short, he applied, not mistaken, got in, and last minute he came across this book that really influenced his
Rebel Without a Cause, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and he was already very talented. Like, you can go on his YouTube, which still has some of the original videos as well from middle school and early high school. Phenomenal job. Yeah. And he's always, as he would call it, a creator or creative. You never know what someone's going to create, even just a little nerdy kid down the street to one of the greats, Christopher Nolan, whoever. You never know what they have in their mindset. And their perspective and their idea, putting it, couple cameras, action, boom. Well, with him, that's when his first film came out, Tethered.
Yeah, Tethered.
I have it on my shelf over there. Everyone, check it out. I'll put the link in the comments
I still haven't seen the full thing yet. I saw the documentary. You
yes.
linked me to the documentary about making it, and it was like a 20-30 minute doc, and I really liked it.
Well, I'll have to let you borrow it or something sometime because I mean it's like an hour and a half. And
isn't it on Prime?
It was, I don't know if it still is, because that's our film, Land of the Free. That's what we're right here. It's what we're trying to either get on Prime or down the road. As a shout out to my own film.
Right.
I don't like bragging about stuff, but so it's gonna have a 2020 release date. Shout out, so, but hopefully,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I know it was. I think,
right.
I know it was or probably still is. If not, I can get you a copy or contact him with them. He still owes me a shirt that I'm still waiting on, Chris. But
well, like 2 or 3 years later, didn't he release that like 3 years ago or something?
Did that other movie he made come out?
Oh, the one that we got to peer. So I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that one still. Okay. But I know he did sell the rights and he finished the final pieces of post production. But essentially, there's another film that I'll use the name. It's Deprivation. I'm not going to say anything about it, but it was really interesting. He essentially sent me a torrent file of his rough edit and gave us a couple page survey and questionnaire to fill out once we finish watching the movie. It was awesome, and I feel like that's what we're gonna probably do for Land of the Free here this year.
There's probably a, I mean, they do this with a lot of films. Though.
Yeah.
You kind of do a sort of like God, what is the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like
focus study kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like some sort of peer review. But you,
I'm trying to blank on the name.
Of two people who don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Movie
but long
critics.
story short, kind of back to him. He filmed that first movie for $2,000 tethered in like one house in Florida, and that's really it.
Yeah.
And he saw great bounce back. He helped some of the actors essentially get other gigs. He won some indie film awards and stuff.
Yeah,
which that was awesome. I mean, he was 20 years old, I think.
Yeah, he was young.
So next thing you know, he put his documentary out there. Got good reviews, good looks, and then Deprivation. I know he's working on some other stuff. Can't really name much of it now because I think he's under contract, or it might be. But I was just so inspired by him being such a young age and chasing his dream.
I was too, and he was one of the people that I reached out to a couple people. He was one of them because he's a couple years. Isn't he a year younger than you? Same.
Like 2 months actually younger than me. I think.
Is he in your grade? Was he in your graduating class? Okay, I can remember.
I think he left freshman or sophomore year.
Yeah, so I don't really think he knew I knew who he was. I remember him saying like in high school. I remember like him talking about film stuff, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I wonder if I should do that. And I kind of pushed it aside because I'm not blaming my mom, but she was kind of like, you need to do something practical. You need something that's more realistic and something that makes money.
Which makes sense because consistent income, especially in a younger age, unless you literally have all this exposure to like the film industry, or you have a straight, crazy nice Sony right in front of you, just go and film, and you have the time. Like that's different, but you do kind of need that consistent income, like the boat I'm in now. But essentially, in a couple years from now, when I have my own business with this travel agency. Hopefully, with this film coming out, and I can see some consistencies and just boost more confidence for myself. I would love to do that for a living, like you. I mean, you went the science route, if you will, and now you want to do film. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You keep a consistent income while you're essentially bettering yourself.
Yeah, my
at
day
your
job
hobby
has nothing to do
to
with this. Like I do social media marketing for like different companies. So we're not here to talk about that stuff, but basically, it's just like I help upload people's YouTube videos for different companies. So I work on like Gillette and T-Mobile and stuff.
No
like, do you remember that ad that came out earlier this year? The ad that pissed off everyone. The Gillette ad where it's talking about the best a man can get or something like that. Where it's like the toxic masculinity ad. It was all over Facebook.
It was very like a lot of people.
Is it the one where it shows a bunch of like stereotypical
tropes that guys, boys will be boys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I launched that on YouTube. I was
really,
I did the description, the tags, and the title, and all that stuff.
So you're the reason it's horrible.
I am the reason it's horrible. I didn't film it, but like I helped upload
those
it to YouTube.
Those with the questionable narrative are the ones to blame. But that's another topic for another time.
Right, exactly. But anyways, that's what I do on my day job. But it's not at all what I want to do. It's like the passion is obviously film stuff. And just learning to write scripts and learning so much about like the film industry, learning who is like, cause there's a whole Richmond is pretty decent for the film industry. I mean, obviously it's not New York, it's not LA, and what Chris is doing is infinitely better than what I'm doing right now. But the thing is, like, I've always made videos and I've edited stuff and I've made YouTube videos for years, but I wanted actual to create like a narrative story, like actual short films and stuff, and I wanted experience doing that.
And to kind of bounce off your point there, I feel like Richmond I consider Richmond a second tier city. I work in the city every day, and I consider it a second tier city. It'll never be a first tier. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
With that being said,
what do you mean by that?
So essentially,
like,
when I say second tier, people often think by population size. That's true too. But what it has to offer, because you're always gonna have this powerhouse, monopoly like cities: L.A., Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, Houston, Detroit. All those that are just constantly thriving. Populations going up. More and more advancement, faster than ours. Like we just got the Pulse bus system. What was it last year? I'm sorry. It's not the best, but meanwhile, Elon Musk is trying to do underground tunnels in LA. I mean, granted, it's a bigger city and they're, supplying demand and this and that, but it's developing way faster than this little city of Richmond. Like, I consider even Charlotte, it's a decent sized city, but I consider that second tier.
Would you say a first tier city has a train system and a second tier city doesn't?
if so, that'd be kind of cool because it might help tourism.
I think everything that you just said has a train system.
Better public transportation.
Yeah,
I want to narrow it to a train.
And instead of being
and more things to offer. Sorry to cut you off, but more things to offer. And kind of finish my point is what you said, I think, is super true and golden for someone that's trying to learn more about the film industry, teach yourself, whether it's screenplay, writing your narrative, editing, whatever the case may be. I feel like you can do that better. You have more freedom to do so in Richmond through connecting with others that are also trying to do that, or just doing your very own project. Whereas in LA, everyone's trying to follow the same guideline, if you will, like Chris.
Yeah.
The reason that, he was able to essentially just develop so fast and so well is because he didn't have people in LA trying to critique him every single move he made. He was able to, instill his own way of doing things and then take it to LA and then work with folks. That's kind of like what I see you doing, which I feel like you said, Richmond is a good city for that.
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
It's competitive, but nowhere near as competitive as Hollywood or New York City, where I feel like every other TV show and movies filmed nowadays, at least the scenes. So.
Or even like, my mom was like, if you're going to move, can you do like Atlanta or something? And I'm like, I've been told by several people, you probably need to move out to LA eventually. And I'm not saying that's not in the cards. It probably is. Yeah. That's something that Chris and I have talked about a lot. You have to take that leap of faith. It's just how expensive it is. You're like 2,800 miles away from family. It's just thinking about that is a lot. So I feel like it's easier to excel in the film industry when you're a smaller fish in a smaller pond, as opposed to being in LA where you're a smaller fish in like a giant.
Correct.
It's huge.
Where everybody there is trying to
where everyone is trying to do the same thing, which Richmond is, again, it's a pretty, I didn't know it was a popular film hub. It is. It's like some top 10 list I read recently where it was like top 10 cities.
I don't doubt it.
Other than like LA or whatever.
Why would that be? Because like I don't know anything about film industry.
I think it's just the whole liberal arts aspect to it, and they're filming a lot of like higher budget, well-known shows have been filmed in Virginia. I mean, they're filming the new Walking Dead spinoff just down the road from here. They filmed, what was it?
Lincoln was filmed Lincoln here. Downtown in the capital.
They filmed The Good Lord Bird, which is Ethan Hawke's new series. I mean, I have like friends in the film industry who've like worked on Good Lord Bird and like basically hung out with Ethan Hawke all day. And his daughter, who was in Stranger Things season 3. I don't know if you remember her.
Oh yeah. The only thing I can think when I think of Ethan Hawke is Ethan Hawke from Training Day. I don't know why that's like so stuck in my head, but just I can't unpicture. But that'd be so awesome. That's phenomenal.
I've heard he's such a cool dude.
Which I would also argue you probably wouldn't be able to do that if a film was shot in New York City or something else. He'd be trying to hide away in the big hub, or not even hide away, but just feel more protected or secluded. Whereas in Richmond, it gives that opportunity for young, aspiring, artists, producers, directors, so on, people like you and your friends to interact with them and learn from them. Not even just hang out,
Right.
Not get the quick Instagram posts and oh my gosh, I can get 500 likes. No, it's actually learn from them. People like y'all can actually do that.
Exactly. And I've heard he's a really cool guy. But I feel like it's easier to kind of make waves in a smaller city, and that's what I kind of wanted to do. I wanted to get more experience because I didn't go to film school, so I'm kind of I wouldn't say starting from scratch, but there is so much when I tell you there's so much I've learned in the last year. There's a lot I've learned in the last year just about the industry, how to work with people, how some people are trustworthy, some people are not. There's a lot of flaky people in the film industry. There's a lot of people that are coming to you for their next big break. There are people that were extras in TV shows, and when you don't cast them in something, they're like, do you know who I am? Like, I've literally gotten that a couple times. Like, do you know who I am? I'm like, yeah, you were a effing extra in some random show. That doesn't mean anything. You didn't act. You just stood in the background.
Just
right.
Extra 37, laugh loudly. Ha 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 ha.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's just... It's like it's a lot of egos and stuff you have to deal with, but there's a lot of good people too. I have a friend named Steve James who has built up quite a following in Richmond, and he's kind of taken me in a little bit, and I've worked on some projects with him. And again, these are really small scale projects. Like our crew is probably sometimes it could be anywhere from 5,
which is
to 8,
very small for home crew.
It's very small as opposed to having 100 people on set. It's really tiny.
So with all that being said, unfortunately I missed some of your showings due to my freaking inconsistent schedule.
It's all good,
but I do eventually want to see them, especially your 48-hour film project. I want to hear more about that specifically because I was thoroughly intrigued, and I've heard about that as a thing all over, but in my own home city and someone I knew in it, I got to hear more. And you won some awards, so run us through all that.
Thanks. So I'm not as ballsy as Chris. I'm not just gonna do a film right off the bat. I'm like, you may be talented enough to do that, dude. I'm gonna stick with some short films. So I think the easiest way to create something and do it quickly, because even one of my short films that I've been working on recently, which is We Were Desperate. I've been promoting that some on Instagram, which is kind of like a post-apocalyptic drama. It's only going to be, it's like, I think the whole thing's like 15 minutes long, but
still,
yeah, I mean, it takes a while to write it, and you have to plan out days to shoot it and get everyone together. In the summer, we actually filmed part of that on the hottest day of the summer. It was a heat index of 115. It was in July.
God.
And I almost passed out of heat exhaustion.
Did the script right for a hot day?
Yeah. It was a nightmare. But anyways, yeah, so the 48-hour film project is, they have them in different cities all over the country, and they have them all over the world too. So you are given a genre, you are given a certain prop, you are given a character, and you're given a line of dialogue. And once they basically say, like, okay, now you can go.
Yeah.
That Friday night is the kickoff, so they give you all that information, and then from Friday night at 7 p.m. to Sunday night at 7 p.m. you have to write it, you have to shoot it, you have to edit it, and do all post-production stuff, and then turn it in by Sunday at 7. It is nuts.
How long is it? How long is it? Depend on how much you can fit.
It depends on how much. If you can write and shoot and edit a film in 10 hours, then good for you. You can just sit around the other 14, but it's like you will need that 48. Yeah,
that's phenomenal. And how big is your crew that time?
The first one, I worked on 2. So there was the regular one in July, then there was the horror one in October.
I remember that one.
The one in July I was brought on because my buddy Steve that I mentioned, he was like, "Oh, this guy's a pretty good writer, so I'll let him write the script for this." And that one's it's a comedy, and I didn't direct it or anything. I just wrote it. We changed a bunch of stuff. We had to cut out a bunch of stuff because I wrote like a 12-page or 13-page script, but like the thing is, we don't have time to shoot all that because it's only 48 hours.
How much time in film would a 12-page script equate to?
It's kind of the staple of film is it's about a minute a page.
Okay.
So it would be about, so we shortened it down to about 6 pages.
Minutes roughly.
Yeah, so I think the full thing was about 7 minutes, and our script was about 6 pages. So
Gotcha.
Usually matches up pretty evenly to whatever the script page is to the number of minutes. So I wrote that, and our crew was probably about, like, casting crew was like 10, 12 people. It wasn't that many. It was really small. And that one was about, our topic was, what was our topic for that? I think it was secret agent or something like that. What was it? It was something. It was a spy espionage. Is what it was.
Is that the one that was on Facebook?
Yeah, that was the one.
That was the summer one.
Yeah, that was Agent 48. That was our topic was spy espionage.
I remember
the full thing's on Facebook.
Yeah, no, it's not on Facebook. It's on YouTube. All of these are on YouTube.
Which, before we leave or once you get home, whatever, please send me all the links.
Yes.
I'll put them in the comments to YouTube, and I can even attach them to Podbean as well.
Okay, sweet. That'd be awesome. Yeah. So it's under my channel name, which is just my name. It's just Corbin Rowell, and then I just have that as kind of my dumping ground for films.
We'll put it on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I worked on that, and then in October, me and a buddy of mine were like, "Why don't we just like write it and direct it, me in charge of it ourselves?" And yeah, so the one we did in October, which is called The Collector's Chest, our thing was our genre we got, and it was all horror-based genres. So you could get like slasher flick, you could get like an isolated, you can get asylum. There's a bunch of different ones. We got cursed toy and object. So I took my parents. My parents have like they have a colonial home, and they have a lot of really old colonial stuff in it. But it's a colonial replica of a home. The home itself is only like 12 years old, but they've made it to look like it's been there hundreds of years.
In this 48-hour tournament, do you choose where you shoot it at?
Yeah, you can choose where you shoot. You choose the locations. That's the only stuff you can really do ahead of time. You can pick your cast and crew, and you can choose your locations ahead of time, but you can't write it or shoot anything until that 48-hour window.
Gotcha.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. So we got a old chest, like a 200, 300-year-old chest from my parents' place, and we kind of used that as our cursed object throughout the film. And it wasn't like the other films. My buddy Steve had the idea for the story, and I wrote it, and it was very different than the other films, because a lot of people, especially like indie filmmakers, when they do horror stuff, it's all jump scares, it's all blood, it's completely over dramatic. And some of them were pretty good, but we were like, let's just do something really kind of artsy-fartsy with it. Because when we did the regular one in July, those are the ones that won all the awards. The really artsy, kind of subtle ones. And then we did the artsy-fartsy route. Not because we wanted to do it too.
Yeah.
So, but it's different than
we did it,
what you know people are going to be doing.
Right. So if you go to the Richmond 48-Hour Film Project YouTube channel, they have all of them there. And
including yours,
including mine. And I also have that on my YouTube channel, Corbin Rowell, shameless plug, there as well. So yeah, it's on there as well, and it's so much different than all the other films because all the other ones are scary. And like when I tell people, I'm like, it won the second place best film at the horror 48-hour film project. But the thing is, it's not even a horror movie. Like I wouldn't even call it one. It's more creepy. It's more uneasy.
Bone chilling.
Yeah, it's just you kind of have an uneasy feeling when watching it, and it's kind of mysterious. It's not scary.
And I didn't get to see that one yet.
I feel like the horror genre is like stereotypically pinned as like jump scares and all that. But like if you look at Jordan Peele's
Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out. That's not a jump scary movie. There might be like a couple jump scares.
There's a couple, but
like the bulk of it is like just a creepy story.
Yeah, and I for the first time ever watched John Carpenter's The Thing recently.
Really?
I've been really wanting to watch that.
That was again a movie that came out like I think in '82, and it didn't have like any jump scares. It was just creepy as hell.
Practical effects.
Yeah, practical effects. Super, super creepy. And another modern movie that I saw that I was really impressed with, that's on Netflix, is the Autopsy of Jane Doe, which is like they bring in this. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but it's like they work at a morgue and they bring in this dead body, and a bunch of weird stuff starts happening around the funeral home or whatever, and they think that like she's cursed or something. But the thing is, it's not cheesy, and there's not a bunch of jump scares. It's really just unsettling, like just the atmosphere of it. There's like probably one jump scare the whole movie. It's just that's the stuff that really gets to me. But yeah, that was the last thing I worked on. We won 5 awards total. One of them was second place best film. We lost to another one, which is pretty good. I can link you that one too. I thought it was really good. It's about this girl being captive, but it was really good up until the very end. She's like talking to this teddy bear, and then the teddy bear gets up and walks out. It's like literally somebody grabs the teddy bear, and like you can see like its feet dangling. I'm like, so it was like really like dramatic at first, then it just got kind of silly, and people were like laughing at the screening towards the end.
They only had a few more minutes to shoot.
It's like
48 hours.
Let's just have the teddy bear come to life or something.
It really shows the 48-hour time constraint.
You'd be better off just picking up and throwing it at that point,
right?
The demon possessed you.
With 2 hours left, just throw it. Just do something. Yeah, it was kind of goofy. I mean, it was okay, but I was surprised because we won the most awards out of anyone, and we won second best. We won best cinematography, which that was the one thing that people have said consistently. I didn't do cinematography for it. It wasn't my camera. I just directed him. He did a lot of it himself. But his name is Michael Hagan, and he works at Dovetail Post. If you ever need a good camera guy, he is amazing. And that's the one thing that people have said that's consistent about our film, is everyone's like been like, oh my God, it looks great. Like, the acting, pretty good.
What kind of cameras do you know?
A Sony something or other. I'd have to ask them.
Sony's top tier.
Yeah, it's good.
How many people usually enter into these?
We had, I think the regular one in July was, for the Richmond one, was about, I think it was 30 teams.
Okay.
And around like 30 films.
It's not bad.
Yeah, something like that. And then I think this time around, I think there was a total of either 19 or 20 for the horror one. So.
Now, you've only done 2 of those, right?
I've only done 2. Yeah, so far.
Is it a thing where, like, because I imagine, like, you put in, like, the 48 hours into this and all that. Does it ever happen to where, like, you fall in love with that idea and then they turn around and make, like, a longer, more drawn-out thing with that same story? Is that, like, allowed?
You can. I'm sure. I think people have done that. I think I've heard stories where people have done that. They have, like, will create a cool topic or whatever for the 48, and then they'll expand on it later. I think a couple of guys, 2 of their 48s were kind of like sequels to each other or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I thought was
that is really
which
cool.
is pretty neat. But
especially if you're given random stuff to
exactly. Yeah,
cool.
you can
Bravo
work
to
it
them,
together. Yeah, they use like the same characters and stuff, which I thought was cool. But yeah, a lot of short films I found. So, there's a few really good ones. There's a few really good actors, but a lot of them are really painful to watch too. Like,
makes sense. Yeah,
and I tell people, like, going in, like, to watch any short film, even mine. I'm just like, these are amateur people. It's okay. And some people that are amateur do insanely well, and other people, it's like, you can tell. that they're amateurs.
Sounds like we told people about our first podcast. It was after a while it got painful for us. It was like,
it's hard to listen to the first one.
yeah,
right.
But
Really
then
hard.
again,
Yeah.
it's one day you can show where you came from. You know,
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and it takes every day, every project you do to
Get a little bit better.
to
Yeah. So we actually have a screening. If you guys want to come, you can. There's a screening this Saturday. We are screening the Horror 48 movie that we made. We're doing a action short that my buddy Steve wrote, and I kind of co-directed it with him. And then we're screening my zombies film this Saturday.
This coming Saturday?
This Saturday.
Where at?
It's at the Gray Street Theater in Richmond. It's like, by the time people see this, it's not going to matter. But it's going to be uploaded to YouTube probably, I'm thinking maybe December 27th is when I'm probably going to upload the zombies film on my channel.
Okay.
And submit it to some film festivals and stuff. We'll see what happens. Who knows? But that event is this Saturday. We called it Solstice because I was like, we need some sort of name for this, and it's a week before winter solstice. Let's just do something. Let's just call it Solstice. I don't want to call it like, hey, screening event with like hosted, but I didn't want some long name. I just wanted some name to just throw it out there. So yeah, it's this Saturday at 5, and tickets are only like $5 online. It's like I think like 8 at the door or something.
You know what we can do? Since this video won't be posted till after that, we can just cut like this little bit and put this like on Instagram or something like that.
Very true.
Just a little cut of it.
I like the way you
just
think.
so we can put this out beforehand.
I like the way you think. Yeah.
This is why there's two of us.
You need two brains to think of this stuff, right?
Yeah. Just between balancing jobs, hobbies, gym, this, that, it's editing, it's all. It's a lot. But then again, it's fun.
It's fun. I mean, you stay busy. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's fun though. Like life would be so boring if you just laid around and just.
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, I can look back like half through college, and I don't like sitting around unless I'm actually playing a video game with a buddy or online with buddies or watching something with friends. Like if I'm just sitting in here or in a room by myself watching TV on my phone, I'm just like, life's being wasted right now. You know,
I get that way.
Unless you're sick or you need just a day of rest, that is it. But like that's
why you asked me when I first got here. You're like, hey, you look tired. I don't like to sleep, so it's kind of this weird thing. I don't know if you've ever watched Casey Neistat's videos, and he said this once, and I kind of agree with it. Casey Neistat, who's a famous vlogger on YouTube, has said, I hate sleeping because I feel like I'm missing out on doing a lot of things that are productive. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm like everyone who doesn't love a good night's sleep. Obviously, when you're asleep and you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, I don't want to get up. No matter what it is, you're like, oh my god, I just
whether you sleep 6 hours or 12, you feel the same way.
Right, exactly. And I should sleep more. Again, it's great for your health to do it. I know it's good. It's one of the biggest things also for getting in shape is you got to get a full night's sleep.
Recovery.
And, right, exactly. And like one of my big things is like last night I probably got like 4.5, 5 hours of sleep. I get like 5 or 6 on average because I just stay up late and I just do other stuff, whether it's video games or editing or whatever. I'm just like, I don't want to go to bed right now.
Yeah.
So I pretty much do it until I'm tired, which is usually I get tired at like 3 or 4 a.m. Then I'm like, all right, I should probably wind down.
Which, I mean, if you can pull that off comfortably while managing work, hobby, gym. I know, like, you go to the gym and all of that. I mean, good for you. Yeah. I had to slowly teach myself that because, like, I know in college we were night owls, staying up, video games, going out with friends.
I still am. That's the thing. I never got out of that phase.
If I didn't need at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep for my job, to be alert,
waking up at 5:30 makes
you got to be alert for what you do, man.
Yeah, which it sucks, but it is what it. That's why I know in a couple years from now I won't be doing it. Nothing against it. It's just I want to be able to make my own schedule, even if I want to like force myself to not get 4.5 hours of sleep, if that. Yeah. But it's all a process. So
what you're saying earlier about I don't know what you said, but I was talking to my little brother last week. He's in college right now, freshman year, and I was telling him like it's awesome to like hang out in your dorm and play video games and all that, like especially like when you're in college, because like it's the first time where you don't have somebody telling you that you have to go out and do stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, for all the time that I played video games in college, I don't remember any of it. I remember the times that I went out and did something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like when we went to go hike Mount Rogers on Super Bowl Sunday and barely made it back to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget that.
You remember the stupid stuff you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
or just
the stuff that's different. You don't remember because just sitting around playing video games is something that everyone does. Right?
Exactly.
And
it's awesome. And
not that there's anything wrong.
Have the time, have the time for it and all that kind of stuff. But
I take pride in
as
my
addicting
as
as
whatnot.
And I take pride in sitting around when I'm done with my achievements. Right. Yeah.
As hard as it is, because like you'll want to be like, I'll have more fun sitting down and playing, which you might have genuinely more fun doing that at the time, but you won't remember it.
Right. And I feel like the thing is about like having time off or downtime is I feel like it's almost a reward when I do work on something or whatever. Because like I've been editing my short film for a while and I've been working on that, and I've gotten to a point where it's like, all right, we're like 6 days out from screening this thing, and then it'll be uploaded probably in a couple weeks on YouTube and hopefully Amazon or whatever. So I'm like kind of just trying to enjoy myself a little bit, but also like stressing out about like I'm excited, but I'm also really terrified. And I'm sure Chris can totally relate to that. I'm sure you guys will relate to that whenever you screen Land of the Free. It's like you want people to see it and you're excited, but you're also like, oh my God, you're really putting yourself out there. It's like something that you created, something that you've been passionate about, something that you've put possibly years into, and one person can just watch it and say, horrible. It friggin' sucks, dude.
Or watch
and that'll sit in your mind.
And that'll sit. 1,000 people can say it's the greatest film they've ever seen. One person says it sucks, you should kill yourself, and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. So
that's why I think even though we're essentially nobodies, and that's kind of a part of our podcast is giving nobodies, making them feel like a somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting in Joe's perspective, like Joe Rogan and all those other big guys. You hear so many of them say, don't read the comments, don't read the comments, don't read the comments. Because those are somebody's talking to somebody who are trying to help one another by just simply not reading the comments. And I always thought that, I'm like, you guys have millions of, followers, subscribers, you make millions of dollars and this and that, but you simply don't read comments? Like me, I would laugh, ha ha ha, but it's easier said than done. And that's even what some of those guys say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's even the ones that like are like authors and scientists, like don't read comments of this, or if you read like a review on their book, like it's all it takes is one negative review saying this was trash, 1 star. That's all I could say, and you're just like,
I'm fine. Like, that's the thing. I'm fine with constructive feedback. I am like there are things about this upcoming film. Again, I keep talking about that's why I'm here.
That's exactly
I was gonna say. So we were desperate. This post-apocalyptic film. Again, it's only like 15 minutes or something, but like. Put a lot of work into this, and there are things like even seeing the full thing completed, there are things I love about it, and there are things I really don't like, and there are things I would have written differently, there are things I would have shot differently. It's like it's like you're your own worst critic. You look back on it and it's like other people are gonna see those things, and they may not. Other people may not be as critical of it, but
you'll see the little details. You'll see the watched it so many times.
Yeah, there's so many little things. I'm just like, oh, it pisses me off, but most people probably won't notice. Yeah, but yeah.
So how long would you say is like an average short film? You said that one's 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's the ones that I've worked on so far have been about like I think they were anywhere from like they're usually anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I mean, it depends on whatever. There are short films that are 3 minutes. There are some that are 40 minutes. We are actually working on and writing right now. My buddy Steve is a huge Batman fan, and he's kind of like done this whole. Like Batman storyline and stuff like that, and we're doing a Batman fan film. It's like a short film. It's probably about 20 to 30 minutes long.
That's awesome.
So it's gonna be sick.
Never need extras. Let us know.
Yeah, I will. We actually may need a couple cops. So
really?
Yeah, dead serious.
I'll see what I can do.
He's already got the stash.
I'll see what I can do.
Hey, you guys can take time away from your busy schedule. Like actually catching criminals to come be in our movie.
What'd be really funny? It's like you play the cop and someone comments like, "That guy doesn't even look like a cop."
Hey, that's a cheesy cop outfit.
It's your actual
real.
Shame I must start again. But no, seriously, I think it'd be awesome to feature that. I mean, just why not?
Yeah,
that's my favorite. I got that from Chris too, but just why not? I think that's what I have to tell myself in chasing like this podcast, and I think you probably tell yourself that chasing your short films. Yeah, and I know DJ and I've said that with our YouTube channel. Just why not? I think you can always say he said, she said, he did, he could have, she would have, if I hate all of that. But if you go through the why not, you're going to end up doing it or trying it or testing it and going and chasing what you're trying to actually conquer and do.
Yeah.
If you fail, it's so cliche, but if you fail, 1,000 times, finally get 1,001 time like Edison, then congratulations.
Yeah.
It took a while, but you did it. At least you can say you tried,
if you fail 1,000 times, hopefully you learned 1,000 things.
Yes.
Right. It's daunting too. It's daunting to chase your dreams, so to speak.
Yes.
Because it's your dreams. There's a chance that if you fail, you're failing your dreams.
Well,
you're not failing something that you don't care about.
And I was always kind of hesitant to tell people and to talk to people about this stuff because I was always more concerned that people were going to be like, they're quicker to point out you failed or you're not going to make it. Whereas most people in my life are actually pretty supportive of it. I don't have a lot of like haters or people in my life that are like, you suck and you're not going to make it, or at least they don't tell me to my face if that's the case. But yeah, there's a lot of supportive people, friends and family. Kristen's been nothing but supportive of it.
Yeah, she's always sharing your stuff, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, those even just the couple around you that help promote.
Yeah.
Just a couple people, family, friends, like it helps a lot mentally.
It does. It really does.
And I know for us, and I don't know if y'all had that issue or thought about it, but for instance, I think it was our episode 1 of our European Adventure 2K19 series.
Yeah.
We dropped the first one. Episode 2 will come out this week, probably Wednesday. Well, anyways, the first video. What?
Wednesday. When this comes out.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday
episode 3 will probably come out this Wednesday. Yes.
So it'll be out by the time this is.
Yes. And episode 3 will be coming out the Wednesday following this podcast. So, with that being said, the first video within like 24 hours, which is good for us because the only thing we promoted on was a simple post on the Instagram and Facebook, which it took me 5 minutes to do, and put the link in the bio, and then we shared on each of our stories on Instagram, maybe a couple days later, and it has like pushing closer to 150 views, maybe.
It's pretty good for a channel with only like 80-something subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
our trip videos usually average about 100.
But
average, and then
really
our podcasts
well.
have been averaging like 50.
And the better we got at our editing and stuff, like some of our videos have a couple hundred, like 300. I'm like, wow, like those feel really good, But with this video, that's different. Is we have like almost 20 likes, and on YouTube, I don't care about any of that. I don't really care about views. At least I like people commenting, not actually on the video, but saying, "Hey man, so your video is awesome." But the thing is, what you do look at are the dislikes. We talked for like 5 minutes. Like the day after, at the time it had like 8 likes and 1 dislike, and I was like, dude, whoever disliked this, and he's like, no, relax.
I was curious. I went through all of our videos and just counted up how many dislikes we had, like throughout all of our videos.
See, the thing is, the way YouTube works is that likes, dislikes, and comments all count as viewer interaction. So when you get if you ever have
dislike
like
counts,
it counts as a viewer interaction,
Sweet.
which boosts your video higher up in the search results. So if you have somebody that's like, screw you, I'm going to dislike your video because you suck, they're actually doing you a favor. They're not hurting you, they're helping you.
Don't tell them.
So yeah, guys, leave a dislike on the video. Leave like 10 dislikes. No, but yeah, so it's actually helps you more than it hurts you. So
that's good to know. I didn't. It just adds to, because like what he said is like, no, because more than likely for us, and we've had it before, but he went back and counted, besides that like or including, it was only 7 likes to 100 some, or 7 dislikes to like 100 some likes out of our 30 some videos. I was like, all right, I'm already feeling better. But as he jokingly
3
said,
of which went in our first video, which is understandable because it's really bad.
Yes,
I think I disliked
it. Leave the dislikes, guys. I disliked it. It's so bad. Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of like, it's kind of comical because as he made the point, it's so true. It could definitely be one of our friends just screwing with and say, I'm gonna dislike it. You guys suck. But in reality, it's like actually a good video. Like, I don't really care. I think as a matter of fact, like you said, if it is someone, because you don't know, that thoroughly just wants to dislike it because they want to see you fail.
Yeah.
When you think about your first reaction, it's, oh, you jerk. But then you're like, bounce back, make it better.
Yeah.
I love it now, and it took that simple 3-minute conversation to show that. And what you just said, I mean, thanks for helping us, dislikes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind constructive criticism. There are things that about some of the films that I've worked on, like short films, like Kristen has told me, like she will tell me, she's not just, oh my God, honey, this is great. She's not that person at all. She has told me, there are things, here's what I like, here are the few things I don't like. But overall, I think you did a good job. I think you're talented. Super supportive. Love her. Find a woman like that. Find one that can cook, too.
I haven't found either.
That also helps. You'll have no trouble. Those biceps and that mustache, you'll have no trouble.
Haven't worked yet, so gotta grow my mustache more bigger, and same with my arms.
Get a handlebar, and then they'll come in from miles away.
We'll see. We'll see what I can do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I remember specific comments all the time that like people. It was the first. I did a music video it was the first music video I ever worked on for my buddy's band for Never Seen, and they're an acoustic rock band. I got some good stuff, and so what was
the name of that?
Never Seen. It's one word.
Never Seen.
Never Seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a play on his last name, which is Neville Dean.
So,
right.
That's
so
good.
he they have a lot of good music. But I have like a regular YouTube channel, like a gaming channel where I upload my podcast to. We do a bunch of like entertainment. Like our podcast is pretty much like 3 college nerds just talking about video games and movies and stuff like that. It's
pretty good.
Way dorkier than what you guys are doing.
That's nice.
So, I promoted on the community tab the first music video I made, which was again like sometime in it was like March or April or something like that of 2018, and I promoted it. And again, people were saying, "Oh my god, this is great! Oh my god, it's so good!" Because it's about like it's like a music video tied to like disaster relief, and it's got all these images from like different like the hurricanes and the tornadoes and stuff that were happening. Yeah, it's we made it to be a really emotional video. When people were saying, "Oh, this is really good for like your first music video," and I get one guy who comments. And again, you always remember these comments. It's probably the best idea to just not read them because I probably shouldn't. Yes. But
or just say, "Hey, thanks, man."
Right. It's right. Or just, and the thing is, this guy comments and he's just like, "This really sucks. You should stick to like gaming videos or whatever." And I'm just like, "Well, we put a lot of hours into it, and like we did this and this and this." And I basically was kind of like defending it or whatever.
You commented back?
Yeah, I commented back, which is a mistake.
Not only did you read it, but you commented back.
Right, I commented back, which is a huge mistake. I will never do. Right, and I've had a couple people tell me,
there's zero logic that goes into a comment.
What's the thing? The guy responds with, "You can't take constructive feedback." I'm like, telling somebody that their film or video is dog crap is not constructive feedback.
No.
Constructive feedback.
You're clearly trying to insult it, or do you hate someone a part of it or the narrative of it, which is just shows a lot of, about that.
If he said the timing was off, that would be constructive criticism.
That's why I told him. I said, if you had said, "I don't like the clips here, I don't like the timing of it, I don't like the editing," that's constructive feedback. Saying something is like crap is not constructive feedback. That's just
a simple word, but it hurts.
Yeah.
You're just being an ass.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously making it somewhat PG based on what he said. But yeah, I mean, like people do that, and I've learned over time, and I've had people tell me, don't read the comments. Just do it. I mean, because the thing is, if you have like a screening or whatever, I mean, again, I don't want people constantly. It's kind of like this. I like people acknowledging. You like people acknowledging the hard work you do, but also at the same time, you don't want people like just constantly like kissing your butt. Like, it was so good, honey. Like, you don't want that the whole time either. But the thing is, people will hate you on YouTube or Amazon, or they'll leave bad reviews. But the one good thing about a screening is I feel like no one's going to come up to you and be like, "Hey,
it was horrible.
You sucked." Like, no one's going to smile. With a smile. No one's going to say that at a screening. So there's a little bit of comfort knowing that no one's going to straight up tell me, "That was awful, dude." Like,
what would be worse if nobody comes up to you and says anything.
Right, or just leave.
At that point, please tell me it sucks. All you want. Yes.
You're standing out front waiting to shake hands and they just walk right past you.
I know. It's like, "All right, guys, thanks for coming." All right, see you. And they just all leave. Yeah.
So. Well, in closing, we're getting close to an hour.
Yeah, definitely.
Which we'll definitely have to have more in the future. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Or future Dolls podcast. Maybe we can do a movie review.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I
think 3 things I've learned. 2, it's been too long since we've seen one another. Yes. In the same grade. So that has to be fixed. 2, what would you think about doing a short film together? Like, you run the show, we either be extras or help. And an idea that came to me, I don't know why, it's different, and it seems like no one's really done it before. You probably know someone that has, or it's not as common or exposed, so we could probably do a better one.
Yeah.
But maybe a short film with no audio, except like music, like setting the tone. Like, it's all of course you have to do it with all visual.
Right.
I know it's harder, but that usually goes on the writing, and that could really be a really big test for you.
So I know what you're talking about, because I
think of the Up scene. And the beginning of Up, how it's all.
God, yeah.
That's one of the best of all time.
The Collector's Chest, the horror film that I did that won those awards, whatever. The first half of the film has no dialogue, no sound. It's just music.
Which is fantastic cinematography.
Which has,
in order to tell a story without dialogue.
Yeah, it tells a story, and you can pretty much. Some people were asking kind of obvious questions like, "Well, what does this mean?" And I'm like, come on, people. If you watch it, you will know. Yeah, it's kind of the whole.
It takes a certain type of audience in order to get that.
Right. Like, some people were just like asking really obvious questions, and I'm like, there's some people who are just not as intuitive with movies, and there's people that watch Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I have nothing against Fast
Anything
and Furious.
Michael Bay.
It's dumb fun. Yeah. But I was gonna say, again, shameless plug, go watch that movie. The first half is completely silent, but I would totally be down to work together and to do something like that.
That'd be so much fun. Quality exposure, it's another way of networking. That's all I am doing, network. Like, I don't want to be famous from this podcast. I want to help other people be famous and meet other famous people, or at least just learn. Like, it would be nice to eventually, be able to work our way up. That's what everyone's goal is. At the end of the day, I know we started this because we talk on the phone every other day. Yeah. And now for like 3 minutes to an hour, why not do it with some mics and some old friends?
Exactly.
That's what we said too. We were like, we play video games on a regular basis on, like, we get on like Discord, which is kind of like Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, we talk about stuff. I'm like, why don't we just do a podcast where we just like review movies?
I love that.
And stuff. I'm like, that'd be cool.
Super cool. So, I forgot what my third point was. Oh no, it was just another reminder. all your stuff will be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter of ours,
yeah.
on the Facebook comments, and you can just send me probably maybe your YouTube channel,
yeah,
your Instagram handle, and especially like maybe if any like 1 to 3 films of yours or work that you can, of any sort of link, I'll put it all on there. Yeah, because I already know you're probably gonna help us advertise and put us out, so we do the same to you. So and that's how you do it, because I mean,
that's what you do, man. It's cross promotion.
Exactly.
You help your boys out. That's
exactly
what it's all about.
So, but I was serious with the first point. This definitely won't be the last.
Yeah, this is
definitely
fun.
Be the last.
This was fun.
I'm used to just sitting in my room, just like staring at my computer screen, like, haha, just talking about like movies and stuff with my friends, and it's just like, oh, like, this is kind of cool because
I know for me, especially when we went to Europe, I was starting to get a little burnt out of work and people in general, because I meet 100 people, I swear, a day, let alone the same people, which I love all those same people.
Your job can be stressful, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now on top of that,
what you do.
Exactly. I appreciate it, man. And I mean, honestly, most of my time goes to my job and the gym. But the gym is my out and stress reliever from my job, which also financial struggle and this and that. And so all the three, it's just like a one circle of life in my head. So this is the next closest thing to literally just sitting down, getting away from the outside world, away from these microphones, the camera.
Instead of work and the gym, now you're talking about movies and
film.
And
that's what film is. And
different.
You can have a message in films. Sometimes you can do political messages. You can do messages about, like, Get Out does an excellent. You guys have both seen Get Out, right? They have there's
spoilers.
There's major spoilers. Well, they have like they talk about like racism in like a really smart way. How like they're at the party. I know we're trying to close down. I'm sorry. I'm such a blabbermouth. You remember that from high school?
No, we can talk about this movie for hours. It's amazing.
So like when they have the scene with the party, it's like the guy mentions that they're like, oh, do you like basketball? Just because he's black. And he's like, no, I'm actually more of a golf fan. Like, oh yeah, Tiger's got a great arm. And it's just like, just like little, like, you can have a message in a movie without being shoved down your throat. And my whole point was that with movies, whether or not you have a message, I feel like making them is an escape. And one of the reasons I like them, and we've always liked talking about movies with like my family. We've always been huge movie junkies, and my mom just didn't think it was a practical living. But now I'm like, screw it. Now she's super supportive of it, which is great. But the thing is that, like, I feel like movies and music are like two of the things that kind of bind everyone together. Like, no matter who you meet, regardless of your background, regardless of your interests, everyone always talks about, like, oh, what have you watched on Netflix recently? What's your favorite movie? It's like, it's something that everyone has.
It's replaced the small talk of, oh, it's nice weather.
It's literally, that's the thing. For me, talking about movies with people that I don't know as well is not small talk. It's because I love it. So then you ask people what they like, and then you talk about, like, how their favorite movie sucks, and then it becomes this whole conversation. So, I think it's a great way to kind of connect people.
Because we want to with the podcast, we want to have like a variety and mix it up, so not the same stagnant, content. We want to have guests. We had one, last time with Tristan. That's like, it is a guest podcast, but it's a fun art, debate topic. We want to do movie reviews. We want to do movie reviews. People don't just want to listen to us, because there's so many other channels that he and I subscribe to, you too, that do reviews and go in depth, Easter eggs, and what's the timeline for episode 12 of this series.
If we did anything like that, it would just be us recycling information that we see from another video.
Right.
So maybe we could collab and do more of that too.
Yeah, I'd be totally down to do more podcast collabs and short film stuff. Like I said, I've got stuff brewing right now, other stuff in the pipeline. So I will definitely, for sure, hit you guys up. And of course, wants to hit me up. That'd be cool too.
I know he's usually in town for the holidays. He wants to be on the podcast. I need to get him down here. So
yeah, I've talked to him like once on Facebook. Like I would say, like probably in 2017, just asking him questions, and he was helping me out with some of that. So. But again, I was never like really good friends with him because I didn't know him that well.
So, it's all about connections, networking. It's the great circle of life. So
this was nice. Cody always says he knows people in the film industry, so it's fun to find someone.
Yeah,
I do. I mean,
indie film industry, right?
but I think that's the most fun, because you never know who you're gonna meet.
I'm always like, Cody, what do you mean by film industry exactly?
What the hell is this guy you're bringing on?
What do you mean? But
so I make adult films. It's just this conversation would have gone a complete different route if I was talking about like adult films that I've worked on instead.
Yes,
that's a good place to end it.
It is. Let's stop there.
But Corbin, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Episode 6 out.
All right.
Bye.
Hey, young viral.